afternoon. I don't know if you guys can hear me or if you join the class. So I'm just going to proceed, even though I can't really see anybody in the class just yet. I apologize for just starting and having some internet issues. That's why I want to confirm that you guys can hear me before I go on. Okay, thank you. Today we're going to be talking about data management and reporting. And what we're basically going to be doing this week is talking about technical and organizational skills that will help you to handle, track, and report data efficiently in modern tools, managing clients across different time zones, and building strong systems to juggle multiple clients without burnout. I just got a message now that you guys cannot hear me. Gina, please try again and see if you can hear me. All right, so we're going to talk firstly about advanced Google Sheets for reporting and how to use Google for both data reporting and data handling, right? So one thing that I know that we talk about a lot is that the fact that Google Sheets is more than just rows and columns. It's one of the tools that you get in your Google Workspace that's technically for sheets, right? So what we'll be talking about today is exploring formulas that you can use for automation and calculation, using pivot tables to summarize complex data, implementing conditional formatting, data validation, and data filters, and finally learning how to use functions like VLOOKUP, the array formula, the IF, the count IF, different functions that you can use for Google Slides or Google Sheets rather. And because I'm not particularly a professional in these Google Sheets and automation and um, data handling, we're going to have another class with another coach, right? Probably before the end of the week. Just talking about how to use Google Sheets for these things I just mentioned. Using formulas for automation and calculation, how to use pivot tables, and how to use some functions for conditional formatting, data validation, and data filter. We're going to have a class on that, so that's like a bit more technical class. So it's going to be a share the screen and what's the word? Share screen and see how it's done kind of thing, right? So we'll probably look for a time to teach that particular class. All right, so moving on to other things, data management and reporting. Okay, so as a virtual assistant, your clients will rely on me to analyze and present data, right? That informs decisions. And so these sessions are going to focus on setting up client data dashboards, using Google Analytics for reporting, creating easy to understand weekly and monthly reports, and tracking KPIs, right? So please give me a second. Okay. I am back. I'm still having some network issues, but let's continue. So imagine Google Sheets, like we're talking about before, is a special notebook on your computer, and it has boxes, and these boxes are called cells. And in these cells, you can type in numbers and words. Okay. Now, there are the formulas are called magic tricks according to the coach that's going to take you. But like I said, we're going to talk about this class in another time with a different coach that's more um, detailed with the working of using formulas on data sheet. That's a bit more technical, right? So now making sense of data sharing. Now let's pretend you're a team helper for someone's business, and then they ask you, "How's my website doing?" or "How many people are reading our emails?" Okay, now you use Google Sheets to show or to create the report. The report now shows things like, did you reach our goals? How many people visited? How many clicks? How many bought things on the website? And so on. Another thing about making a report on Google Sheets is that you should always make sure you color code your report so that it's easy to read, right? So you use green for positive feedback, you use red for negative feedback, like let's do better or we did not meet our targets and so on. Then you can add tiny graphs inside your table to show to give it a bit of a physics. You're giving reports. So there's like a report showing a graph, like a bar chart or a pie chart, just to still read or to give the report that you're giving to the client. But don't worry, you're going to go deep into that when we have the class, hopefully on Thursday. Okay, so working with time zones, we talked a bit about working with time zones last week, and I said that if someone asks you to meet at 3 o'clock, and they're in London or they're in US and you're in Lagos, you know that it's not the same time. It's not the same time you're going to meet. Yeah. So you use special apps. I don't know if I told you about the app called World Time Body. You should have that app as a virtual assistant that works with clients abroad. World Time Body helps you check what time it is for you and what time it is for your client so that it is easy for you to know what time to set the meeting for. So when you use World Time Body, so let's say the client is in the US and the client says, "Oh, I want you to set up a meeting for 4 p.m." and you know that they are 6 hours behind us. Instead of you to rack your brain, you can also use the app World Time Body and it will tell you, okay, 4 p.m. for him is going to be so time for you. So you know what time to set the meeting, right? Then you set up meetings with Google Calendar, you invite people, write what the meeting is about, always add a description in your meeting and give them a link, send them a link. We did all this. I got some invitations from people here that created time zone calendars and sent me the link. So that's really amazing job on that. For those that are yet to send in the assignments, please do that. Okay. Oh, excuse me. So, looking at some best practices for reporting. Number one, here we have organized client data with dashboards. So dashboard, whether you're using dashboards, you're using keywords, you're using folders, just make sure everything is organized, right? So if you have a sheet for salaries, you name a salary sheet. If you have one for fuel, like all the money that's been spent on fuel, you state it. All the money that's been spent on internet. So it's easy for them to. So if they ask you for that report, you can give it to them, right? The next thing is tracking KPIs. It can be KPIs of you, KPIs of sales, KPIs of engagement. KPIs means key performance indicators. It's a way to track how well, let's say, a campaign, a social media campaign or an email campaign did last week, this week, so you can know if it's getting better or it's getting worse. So let's say in January you had a campaign, sent out 20 emails, and you got 10 people to click call back. Then in February it dropped from 10 to 6. Then in March it went up to 15. And then June, July, and August it went down to 5, 4, and 3. You might not be able to know off the top of your head if your business is doing good or bad if you don't have proper reporting metrics. So reporting is very, very, very important. You also, oh, my battery is low. Also try to, excuse me, also try to use reporting tools like Google Sheets, Google Analytics, Google Data Studio, which is optional. You can, I always say, go and check them out, play around with them and see which ones work for you. Then Canva, you can use Canva for visual reporting. There are so many there's so many what's the word templates on Canva that you can use for reports. So you just use it, you edit, change the color, change the fonts, change the information on the content and send it. So these are other or some tools that you can use for reporting. So some very good practices that you should know when you're sending out data. Number one, always keep up backup data. So if you have a PDF or a Google Sheet, whatever, you send one to your employer and you keep one probably in the email so that if tomorrow they lose it or they need you to go back and check for something, it's easy for you to get that information. It's not that they'll ask for something and then you're all over the place or you say you don't know where it is, right? If you say you don't know where the particular information is, there's a problem. Then after that, use cloud-based collaboration. Cloud-based collaboration is basically when more than one people have access to a document online. So when you create a document, you go to the share button, and then the share button, you now see who has access to this, and then you open it and say access to everybody, or give everybody. You say anybody with the link can have access to the document. That way, you don't have to download it. They can just check it out from their own end and get the information. Thirdly, we have visualize trends with charts. So you can use charts to add trends. I will just explain trends to you guys now. That maybe in January you had 10 people, in February you had 8. That way, when you're creating a chart, you now know how to measure the chart. So when you're sending the report, they can now see if the business is doing well or it's not doing well. They will also tell the coach that will take you on the sheets if he's going to teach people also how to use charts to visualize trends and data reports. And then always try to align your report with client goals. If the client asks you for a particular report, try and give it to the client. Some virtual assistants, you might ask for something and you ask for it over and over and over and over again. It's not good as a virtual assistant. It's always important that your report align with the client's goal because sometimes they might need that report for a particular task at hand. And if they're unable to get it from you, you are you according to what Nigerian how Nigerians say it, you fall in their hands in that particular moment, right? So and that's not a good look. Then handling multiple clients. Now handling multiple clients is another thing that you might experience because You might have one client from Nairobi, one from Nigeria, one from South Africa. So how are you able to manage them effectively, especially if they live in different time zones, right? So imagine you have to help the staff, or you have to help the client rather, and you need to remember what everybody has asked for without mixing them up. What are you supposed to do? Number one is you split your jobs into tasks, or into, you can use Trello to create Trello boards. You can use even your Google Sheets to create tasks, all the tasks that you have from each client. So each client has their own task sheet. And then you write out all the tasks and you prioritize the high value tasks or the more difficult tasks. So let's say you have three tasks. The first task is to design it, edit a video. Second one, create a design. Third one, post social media. Fourth one, call the client. You as the virtual assistant, you know which is going to take most time, which might be the video. So you might want to do that first. The one that will take the shortest time is the social media post or the call. So you do those last. So it's always important for you to prioritize your tasks. Then number two, you set clear clients boundaries. Now, one thing about some clients is that they don't really know what boundaries is, right? So you have to set clear boundaries. You say, oh, I only work from 4 to 9 p.m. I don't work after that. So that if you now tell another client, okay, I work from 9 to 1 p.m. for this client, I work from so time to so time for this client. So another client's work will not enter another person's work. So once everybody has the boundaries or the time set for their own jobs or their own work, they understand and need to respect that time, so you're able to work effectively. Number three is use tools for organized tax management. So there are different tools. I don't have to go through the tools again. We already know the tools that you can use for tax management and time management, right? Then time block your calendar per client. Sometimes I advise, if you have 3 clients, 4 clients, you create four different email addresses or Chrome profiles for them, so that everybody has their own in each profile and you're not mixing and matching and making mistakes. Streamline communication, one channel per client. I always advise, so you don't overwhelm yourself. Communication should be done on WhatsApp, right? So WhatsApp DMs or Telegram or Instagram, but WhatsApp is most convenient, whichever works for you and your client. Oh, excuse me. Next, we have review your tax. Always important to review tax for prioritization. You know that if you don't go through your tax every week or go through your tax every day, you might forget something, or you might forget something that's more important and do something that's less important. So it's important that you try to review your tax every day. So the ones you've been able to do, you cross them out. The ones you've not been able to do, you move them to the next day. So yeah, I think that's about it. It's a very short class. It's really short because we cut off the other class that I talked about, the Google Sheet automation. I'm going to have that later. So that's the end of our class today. If you have any questions, anything that confused you, let me know. And I promise by Thursday I will try and see how I can get a coach to take you guys on the Google Sheet automations. Your assignments and tasks will be sent to the group as usual. Remember to try and get them done, because if you don't, you're not going to move on with us to next month, right? Let's try not to owe this boot camp by the end of this month. We have about 2 or 3 days to the end of the month, or let's just even say to the end of the week, right? Today is just Monday, so let's try for the end of the week to make sure everything is in order. And Monday we go again, right? So I'll see you guys on Friday in our accountability call. When is, I don't even know. Did we have an accountability call last week? I'm not even sure if we did. But I'll see you guys in the next accountability call. And please, your assignments and your tasks are very, very important. Yeah. I think that's about it. I'm going to remove my slides now, and I'm going to say a special thank you to everyone that attended. Remember, if you have any questions or anything, please let me know. Shout out to Christina. She's the only one that I know she has given all her tasks and assignments. Everything is up to date. The rest of you, please, please, and please, let's try and catch up.